Hi there, this is Mo with the Double R, and you're welcome to Ladies Lounge, sponsored by First Bank, the bank that puts you first all the time.
Brother Jumble, why you dey fumble? You no need to dey suffer to send money, Carry for make you down the number 894. Make you know the wait. 894. No need to dey stand for line. 894. It is safe and secure. 894 for me. 894 for you. 894 for there's a number that could change the whole world. It no matter if you don't get data. 894. Just pick your phone and dial the number. 894 for me. 894 for you. 894 for Niger.
Dial star 894 hash to get started.
You first bank.
So perhaps you're wondering what Ladies Lounge is about. We're about lifestyle, relationship, your career, all the works. We're just here to make you have fun, get into your head, get into your space, and just share some time with you as we dissect some of the happenings around the world. We're sure that you would enjoy the time with us. It's just a nice time out with a couple of friends. And today, I've got some exciting friends of mine on the beat. I'll introduce them in a bit, just after this time out.
Brother Jumble, why you dey fumble? You no need to dey suffer to send money, Carry for make you down the number 894. Make you know the wait. 894. No need to dey stand for line. 894. It is safe and secure. 894 for me. 894 for you. 894 for there's a number that could change the whole world. It no matter if you don't get data. 894. Just pick your phone and dial the number 894 for me. 894 for you. 894 for Niger.
Dial star 894 hash to get started.
You first bank.
Yeah. So back here, I'm going to introduce my guest to you now, and in no particular order. I've got Triple A.
My name is Adeyemi. People call me Triple A. And of course, because of my name, I have a crown attached to every of my name. Adeyemi, Ademola, Adenisi. And just a little bit about myself. I have passion for women. I have passion for relationships, for marriage. I do counseling a lot. So you can imagine what wells up in me whenever we have to discuss issues that center around the well-being of women generally in relationships.
Okay, and then I've got the fabulous Julian.
Hi, my name is Julian. My friends call me Fabulous Julian. I'm a corporate 9-to-5er, and I also have a community of female business owners that I work with 7 to 10 p.m. daily.
Thank you, Julian. Thanks for joining us. And, okay, joining us soon would be somebody that's very dear to my heart, and she's an amazing person. Don't worry, you get to find out who she is in a short while. Quickly diving in, I told you that this is about fun. So, today's topic, the way we say that, let me just read it out to you guys. So there is this Nigerian lady, let's call her Omalicha. She has berated men who split bills with their wife or girlfriend while out on a date. In short, our topic for today is just called going Dutch. You know what that means. So we have people who believe that if you go out on a date with your babe, with your girl, why not split the bills? You're working, you're a high flyer, you earn 5 digits. Why should I pick all the tabs for you? and this baby's just going bonkers. You're supposed to be a Nigerian man. Nigerian men take responsibility. So it's interesting. I mean, I would really, really love to get into your head and see what you've got to say about it today. And I know that quite a number of our listeners, would find themselves in these shoes. What do you think? What's right? I mean, how do you handle a situation like this? So guys, Fabulous Julian, wait for a comment. All right, Julian, what do you think? I mean, should you split the bills with a guy that you go on a date with?
It's a yes and a no kind of answer. If before now, I understand your situation.
Okay.
And you're honest with how things are with you. And I know that this is your mindset around things. Fine, that works. But if you've shown me that you are author and finisher of the world, Assistant Jesus,
I like that.
You could actually pay everything.
Okay.
But if that is not the situation, and I know you've come up as a human being to say, girl, this is what I think when things like this happen, because I think everything is gistable. Let's talk about these things. So even before that date, I know the kind of person you are.
So sure, there's no point forming that you're big when you're not.
No pretense, no shame.
Okay, I like that. Triple A, let me come to you quickly. So imagine that this is your first date and the guy goes, babe, it's 20K, this 10K from me. What would be your reaction? It's a first date. I mean, you don't have any history. It's not somebody that you've gone out with. First date. And it takes half of the tab. What do you do? How do you deal with that?
Quite interesting. I actually had to let out some laugh so I could actually think about your question. So, Julian made a very important point there where she mentioned that you need to have had some form of conversation with whoever you're going out on dates with.
Okay.
I'm not going to jump on the streets, pick a total stranger, and then we head off somewhere to have a date.
Okay.
So, waiter, what's the bill? And then the girl or the waiter presents the bill, and then I'm like, oh, the guy is like, oh, sorry, could you split the bill? Let me know what I took and give her what she took or something. That's even worse than
exactly. I mean, that's very embarrassing if you ask me.
No, it's really weird to think you would just enter into somewhere and then you're like, okay, so split it. This is how much I have. Yeah. You don't even know if.
Or perhaps he just goes and asks, what did I take? What's the total bill for mine?
Exactly. So that's a very weird situation. And of course, if we are looking at it from another perspective, where you would probably have had a conversation and you know that this person that you're going somewhere with thinks that this bill, I can help you or something. Of course, I could even offer to say, oh, how much is the bill? Don't worry, I'll cover some part of this.
Okay.
That's acceptable. So there's no formula to this thing, actually.
Okay, thank you, Triple A. All right, guys, so I told you that another of my friends will be joining us, and she's right here. Abel, good to have you.
Good afternoon, Nadia Mariah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi. Glad to have you on the call today. So we're talking about going Dutch, yeah? And the gist around this is a guy and a girl, they go out on a date, and then the guy is insisting that they split the bill. What's your take on that?
So did you say the guy is insisting that?
Well, I mean, he's asking, he's insisting, he's suggesting, whichever one the bill split, I mean, ordinarily, you would, sorry, Abim, you would expect that in our Nigerian context, they want to feel like the man, you're in charge, you're taking care of your babe, and this guy comes up and requests, or maybe suggests, or ask, that you take part of the bill or just pay for what you took. How does that work?
So for me, to the extent that you asked me out on a date, I was JJ in my house. date. You then ask me out on a date. Of course, you must pay, for my meal. It is just a gentlemanly thing to do. Obviously, if at some point further down the line, if it proceeds to more than one date and I choose to reciprocate and all of that, then that's fine. I mean, I'm very clear about it to the extent that you ask a woman out on a date, then the expectation, at least that very first time, is that you will do the right thing, you will do the gentlemanly thing. Chivalry hasn't died, as far as I'm aware. I didn't get that memo. So absolutely, you should pay. But like I said, I also think that it's important even for women that further down the line, depending on how things proceed, we should also reciprocate, not because you're saying the guy can't afford it or you're posing or you're showing off about your own income, but it's more about, this world is all about give and take. But that very first one, in fact, as you're asking me to contribute, don't worry, I will pay for me. I will pay for you too. And that will be the last time I people like that.
Auto delete.
Delete, block, everything. Never again.
Thank you so much, Abim.
Sorry, Mariah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Add one more thing.
Great.
When I came to Nigeria, that I heard about the principle of Vex money, and I used to think to myself, Vex money, what's that? Why does anybody need Vex money? They say, if the date is not going in the right direction, then you need your.
You just have backup. You just have backup, so you don't have to be speaking stories that such and have to be washing plates in some.
Honestly,
Oh my god. Thank you so much, Abim, for sharing. So guys, I mean, you've heard it. There really isn't any hard and fast rule about these things. Of course, it's natural to expect that the guy that takes you out or asks you out on a date would foot the bill, at least for that first time. But nothing says that you cannot also reciprocate. And perhaps if it's somebody that you're friends and you do understand that, you can have that understanding. Oh, I'm not so boxed up, babe. If you could add this to it, you have that understanding and foreknowledge before going into the date. So nothing says that you can't give your guy a treat. Nothing says that you can take him out on a date and just spoil him silly. I mean, come on, you're working, babe. And all right, so that's it today, guys. Please learn the lessons. You can give. Relationship isn't one-sided. Yep, the men are in charge and they're responsible for you, but you are responsible as well. You've got to be able to put something on the table and bring value. All right, so thank you. Okay, so I'll just go around the room quickly and just take last words from my friends who have joined me in today's session. Let me come to you, Julian.
So, like we've heard, is not one-way traffic.
Yeah.
Like we say in our local parlance, life no balance.
Yes, sir.
And it's not the balance every time.
At all.
So it could happen either way. Try as much as possible to also question some things. So you're not standing there or sitting there and this guy has gone home. And you are there.
Like Abim said, just make sure you have Vex money.
Vex money. So it's just being smart. So, we have think smart, date smart.
True.
Be smart all around.
Yeah.
Money smart as well.
Exactly. And have those conversations.
Have your Vex money in case.
Necessary. Thank you, Julia.
Splitting bills,
okay,
I think is something we need to be flexible about. Just do what comes through.
Yeah.
Your present situation is not casting stone.
At that time. Thank you, Julian. AAA.
All right. Thank you very much, Julian. And thanks, Abim, especially for that insight into the Vex money thing. I would actually not like to call that Vex money because of the psychology behind it, because a lady thinks this is Vex money. So it's like anticipating I'm going to get into trouble if this guy negative. That's exactly the word. And if this guy wants to show himself, I would also show him. I think it's important that whenever we're going into things, we should always go with a positive mind. Things happen. You can go with a positive mind. What if? And we established this initially to say that
you needed to have had some form of conversation with whoever you're going on dates with, so at least you know the something, whatever it is that is behind the person's mind, then you know how to deal. Of course, it's not the same way you handle everything that you come across. But I would like to add a little twist to what we discussed today, and that's the idea of what's the dating about. Because I know many ladies, and apology. Okay, let me just say, some ladies would be going on a date with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to eat silly. Like some would.
You just got into my head. You know, I was going to say, you know what, when ADM is done, that ladies, you know, maybe we are the ones that even set ourselves up sometimes, because you go out on a date and then, I mean, come on, you are not eating for a year. Come on! You're eating for a year, so why would you want to put the guy in trouble? I mean, regular date, depending on, of course, where you go. I mean, there are average restaurants that on a good day you just have an idea of maybe 20k, 50k, you're done, and then you go in there and start order this, before you run me backwards. Oh yeah, babe, you to share.
Harry,
you know. So it was like you just spoke my mind out. We also need to be careful. All right, so thank you, Demi. Let me take last words from Abim.
Okay, so I think for me, the owners, I'd like to think that even the man himself, he's known you for a little while.
Okay.
He can judge some of your basic traits, your character traits.
Okay.
And he can sort of determine what kind of person that he's going out on a date with, and he really doesn't even need to have that conversation around having to go Dutch, as the case might be, or worry that she's going to sort of order every single thing on the menu, or just be deliberately trying to be funny. Because of course, you know, on average, how many of us can eat more than a main meal, and worst case scenario, a starter or dessert? It's almost impossible that you would be ordering multiples. But anyway, like I said, it's really down to the individuals that are concerned. Yes, we do hear stories of females doing certain things which is obviously unacceptable, and you just know, this person's just being funny and being unreasonable. And sometimes maybe that's why you get certain guys sort of saying, okay, well, contribute. Shay, you want to clear the you will contribute towards it. So I think it's probably about the context of every situation, but honestly, as to the extent that somebody asks me out on a date, I think that the reasonable meal, which is nothing more than a starter, main meal, and dessert, which I rarely ever have space for dessert, then the expectation that you should be a gentleman, you should carry my bills, and if to the extent that you then, you know, sort of bring that great Dutch to the table, I'd have to I will do it, I will pay and everything, but honestly, that's the last time that you would go out on a date. And the truth is, if you knew that you didn't have any money, or you couldn't afford to feed me, and
you shouldn't even have bothered asking.
There's ways that we can go out on a date. It's not even don't bother to ask, but there's lots of ways we can go out on a date. You know, we can go and have, you know, coffee, we can have ice cream, we can,
you know, I mean, not necessarily something that would put a lot of pressure on your bank account in that sense. All right, thank you so much, Abim. And there you have it, guys. I hope you've learned a thing or two. So this is Mo signing out. Please watch out for our next episode of Ladies Lounge, brought to you by First Bank, the bank that puts you first all the time. Bye.
Brother Jumble, why you dey fumble? You no need to dey suffer to send money, carry for make you dial the number 894. Make you know the wait. 894. No need to dey stand for line. 894. It is safe and secure. 894 for me. 894 for you. Change the whole world. It no matter if you don't get better. Just pick your phone and dial the number 894 for me, 894 for you, 894 for Niger.
Dial *894# to get started.
You first.